Season 3 of The Desk of a Navy Wife, where you may or may not hear my kiddos in the background. My name is Raina Worthy, and on this podcast, we like to talk about challenges, triumphs, and experiences with being a military spouse. So kick back, relax, make a cup of coffee, or get that evening dinner ready, and watch or listen to me in the background. Hi, everyone. I am joined today by Nicole, and she is an accomplished best-selling author, speaker, and transformational coach. She's dedicated to helping women and families heal and rediscover peace after pregnancy and infant loss. She's a military spouse and was named the 2025 Washington, D.C. National Guard Spouse of the Year. Nicole, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. And so I'm going to turn the floor over to you so you can introduce yourself a little bit more.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me today. So I'm just going to jump right in. I have been through a lot. I have experienced abuse, infant loss, miscarriage, addiction. These things have really been so tough to navigate through. In October 15th, 2019, it was Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day. And I had decided I did not want to live any longer with my son who died when he was 9 weeks old and all the miscarriages I had. So I did try to take my own life. I ended up falling down 2 flights of stairs. My husband found me at the bottom. He called 911. When the first responders got me to the hospital, the doctors in the ER said I wasn't going to survive. I had a brain bleed, brain contusion, 5 times the legal limit of alcohol. Well, a week in the ICU, I did survive and I did wake up. And that day, it's like I felt my son talking to me saying, Mommy, this is not the life you're supposed to live. And you've got to get clean, get sober, and turn your pain into purpose. And that's exactly what I did. I feel super blessed now to be 6 years sober. And my heart is serving military spouses like myself. So every time we PCS and move, I start a pregnancy and infant loss support group for spouses in the area. I've been very blessed to start 4 different groups, as well as I am an AA sponsor for a lot of military spouses as well. I work very closely, especially with women who've experienced depression, anxiety, PTSD, insomnia. And I continue to share my story and help others, one, because I want women to know they're not alone. And two, I want women to know that you can literally walk through hell, rape, abuse, infant loss, miscarriage, addiction, and still come out on top and still live that life you've always wanted to live. So I feel very honored and blessed to have turned that pain into purpose and to really be that light for so many military spouses.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being open and transparent with all that has really impacted you in your life and in your journey. I know that can be tough for some individuals to talk about and maybe even listen. So I'll be sure to put kind of a trigger warning prior to posting this because there are some tough topics that we're going to cover, but it happens in people's lives. It happens in military spouses' lives as well. And there's a lot of depression that people are not comfortable talking about. And those are things that we face. So, again, I want to thank you for opening up and sharing that side of you and your story a little bit more in depth with me and with our listeners and viewers today. With your journey, I do know that you've written books as well around some of these topics, and I'm sure you hold sessions potentially around these topics as well. Your journey has touched many people. Can you start by sharing a moment when you realized mental health wise, it was something you needed to prioritize in your life?
I remember in the beginning of my sobriety journey and my healing journey a little over 6 years ago, realizing the biggest thing is that it was okay to ask for help. I felt so alone as a woman, as a military spouse. We're kind of taught that just kind of keep it together, and then
Yeah,
you do this on your own. And
you got it. You're tough. You're
yes,
strong.
yeah.
Yeah.
Quickly realized, oh my gosh, I can't do this alone. I do need the help. And I'll never forget reaching out to these women, these military spouses after my fall and saying, I need help. I need help with the kids. I need help with meals. And they were the first women to really reach out and be there for me. So that is a big part of my story. I
Mhm.
want women to know that you don't have to do this life alone. It's such a hard life to live. Start asking for help. Start also a big thing in my mental health journey. I had to realize it was okay to do things for myself.
Mhm.
We as women, as military spouses, we give, give, give as mothers, as volunteers, as whatever we're doing. And we need to make sure each week we're doing at least one thing for ourselves. And it doesn't have to cost a lot of money, like buying a new pair of shoes or a purse. It can be take a bubble bath. Read a book. Turn on your favorite song in the kitchen and just start dancing. Do
Yeah.
some for yourself. So I think those have been the 2 biggest takeaways for me, learning that I don't have to do it alone, as well as making sure I'm prioritizing myself and my own health first.
So with you talking about those support systems, because that's something you mentioned, right? Reaching out, asking for the help. What specific ones, whether it's resources or programs or organizations you contacted, what support systems or people made the biggest difference for you during those hardest seasons?
Honestly, military spouses, like humans, I needed that. I needed someone to talk to. I needed someone to share. I really ran to social media in the beginning of my journey and sharing my story. And I remember when I did start talking about losing my son and the miscarriages and all the abuse, the addiction, I
Hmm.
would have other reach out and say, "Me too. I've experienced that. I don't feel alone anymore." So
Hmm.
really building, going to support groups, AA meetings was huge for me. And also, I chose to hire a coach, and I want others to know that, like, that is part of the journey, asking for help and not having to do it alone. Reach out to someone who can guide you, who can help you. That's why I wrote one of my books. It's literally the steps I do with clients to get you from point A to point B. So you're no longer feeling anxiety or depressed or you
Hmm.
sleeping at night. I want women to know that it's a process, but if you're ready to do the work, you can heal.
So many people, and this is military spouse or not, just in general, many of us mask those struggles that we may be going through. So, what signs did you overlook in yourself? And what helped you finally recognize what you were experiencing?
I don't think I realized how bad it was. I don't
Yeah,
think I
okay.
realized how depressed I was, how anxious I was. I knew about the insomnia. I was up every single night, but even the PTSD, that was a big one for me as well. A
Mhm.
lot of other people think it's just military that have PTSD.
Mhm.
That is not true. It
Right.
is anyone can have PTSD. And I remember I would go over all the time, like thinking about how my son died and how I found him myself and all these things over and over. So that was a big thing I had to learn. And that I really, after hiring a therapist, told me that PTSD is not just military, it could be
Mhm.
anyone experiencing that. And so it really took me talking to someone to figure out, wow, like I really am severely depressed. I don't just have a problem with alcohol, I have a problem with my mental health as well.
Mm.
And I had to really pinpoint what was triggering that, what was causing me to drink, what was causing me to have anxiety, what was
Mhm.
causing me to have depression. And the truth is, you're really not gonna be able to work through that until you can pinpoint what truly is causing that.
I'm glad that you spoke on that. A lot of us do have different triggers and we're not aware. Like, hey, this triggered me, or I'm reacting this way and not digging into why you're reacting that way. So, thank you for sharing. You're talking to your therapist and you have to have those conversations and pinpoint what it is that's causing you to do what it is that you may have been doing during those struggles. Aside from talking to your therapist, what strategies or daily habits have helped you maintain your mental health while balancing life and work in general?
I love this question. The biggest thing I tell all of my clients and other women in general,
Mhm.
journal. It is so simple. Get out a book, get out a journal, and start writing your thoughts down. That was such a that's really why I ended up writing several books, because the healing power and
Mhm.
just putting your thoughts to paper. Another big thing was each morning I start my day with gratitude. I list out 3 things I'm grateful for and say that out loud. And as the moment I also put my feet on the floor, I just say thank you. Starting my day with gratitude
Mhm.
has been huge as well. Journaling, like I said, self affirmations. In the beginning of my journey, I remember I had like sticky notes, and my kids still say stuff about it today.
Yeah.
I am beautiful. I am worthy. I am enough, because you want your brain to start picking up on that. To love yourself is the most powerful thing. Learning to love yourself. What do you love yourself? That's really why when I started to love myself, I dyed my hair, I started to wear glitter, I got
Yeah.
tattoos. Do things that make you happy. Stop caring what other people think, because the truth is, you're going to be judged no matter what. So
Very true.
start doing what makes you happy and brings you joy, and embrace her.
So with you embracing your journey, and I like that you're saying, hey, love yourself first. I feel like because I don't know if it's just people, I'm going to be maybe biased. I feel like women always put themselves on the back burner and we forget ourselves and not showing love, or we're saying negative things first. So aside from sticky notes that you put, do you put them on your mirror? Do you put them
I
kind
had
of
them
in
on
your
my mirror,
hallway?
I had them in my car. At one point, I had them around my house.
So your
That
surroundings.
Yes.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest things that also I see where this is going is learning to love yourself, mirror work. Talk to yourself. You're already getting ready in the morning, doing your skincare or your makeup or your
Yeah.
hair or whatever, and in the evening, brushing your teeth, whatever it may be. Talk to yourself in the mirror. Say, I love you, and put your name to it. I love you, Nicole. You are worthy to be happiness. I will say two of the biggest things I learned from my clients is they either don't feel worthy or they don't feel enough.
Yes.
So those are the things you're going to really need to focus on and say, I am enough just the way I am. So mirror work was another huge part of that journey for me too. And get
Ah.
books. If you don't have time to actually read a physical book,
Mhm.
listen to podcasts whenever you're driving to and from work. Put on that, like, that inspiring, that empowerment. Sometimes when I'm in the thick of it, I just play This Girl's on Fire, like my
Yeah.
favorite song, and just listen to that. Music is so calming and so empowering to the soul as well.
Are there any specific podcasts that you can think of off the top of your head that's your go-to that you can share with us?
Oh my gosh, that is such a good question. Anything that really is about women empowerment. I
Women
don't have a
empowerment?
specific
Okay.
one for that, but some of the biggest books, there's Louise Hayes is so empowering. Brene Brown is really great as far as books.
Yeah.
There's just so many out there. Like the self-help books are just incredible. So start listening to that. Grab one of mine. That's what one of my books are about as well. But I think you really need to start surrounding yourself
Mhm.
with positivity, with empowerment, with an inspiration, things that make your soul happy.
What's one practice with that empowerment? If you're having a negative thought, what's something that you personally do that switches it to possibly a positive thought, or how do you go through that whole entire
I
process?
literally pull out the notes on my phone or my
Yeah.
journal and say, I am enough. I am worthy. I am beautiful. The one things that I know I struggled with the most
Mhm.
in my healing journey, those are the things I'm going to put on paper. But you need to recognize that moment. When you start talking negatively to yourself, what's going on around you?
Yeah.
What's the environment like? What conversations are you having? Because those are really the things you're going to need to work through so you don't have triggers like that.
Nice. Thank you. You're giving me an idea because I used to journal a long time ago. And it's like, I need to get back into journaling and the gratitude and books and affirmations. And I didn't think about putting things in the car as well. Because if that's a place that you commonly have to
Right?
go to, driving to and from work
I
or
know.
whatever, why not have things in the car too? So I'll have to add that to my personal to do list because I have things around the house, but I do leave the house too. So I just work from home. So thank you for that tip. I'm going to be sure
Yeah.
to add something to my vehicle. Many people want the support of a loved one when they are struggling and they don't know how to ask or really voice, hey, I'm going through this right now and I need help. What are the most meaningful ways someone can show up for that person if they see that that person may be struggling?
Oh my goodness. The biggest thing is just listen. Be that listening ear. Another thing I remember years ago, my husband and I did this, figured out what our love language was, and it's
Yeah.
words of affirmation. So each morning we will just send a text to each other. I love you because you are amazing because just one simple thing. So I think those would be the biggest things you can do when you see someone that is hurting. Let them know you see them. Let them know that you see what they are going through and it really just be that listening ear. After I lost my son in the miscarriages, I would be asked, what do I say to this person? There's nothing to say.
Hmm.
There's nothing to say but to let them know that you are there for them. You are there for a hug, you are there for a listening ear, you are there for just for them to be seen.
Thank you. And because there's things that I feel like I need to practice with others if I'm witnessing, but also, of course, getting into that comfort of asking for help. So there's two things that sometimes you feel like it's on you, and sometimes it's, hey, if I'm witnessing this, how can I step in for someone? So just showing them that you're there, you see them, and being an active listener, maybe not always wanting to fix things is what it sounds like.
Yes.
Sometimes you just need to be
You
a
can't,
listening ear
yeah,
for them.
exactly.
So, another question for you. What is a message of hope that you would want listeners to take with them, especially those that are silently fighting their own battles?
One, you are worthy to heal. You are worthy to love yourself. You are worthy to love life. You are worthy to want to get out of bed each morning. That would be the biggest thing. And, I know I said this before, but reach out to someone today.
Hmm.
Maybe it's not your mission to go on social media like me. Maybe reach out to a family member or your best friend or someone you trust and share your story. Because the moment I started sharing my story with military spouses or loved ones, I had so much support because the truth is others wanna help you, but they don't know what they don't know. So
Right.
the moment that you could just at least share with one person, I think you'll feel a ripple effect of feeling supported and loved and cared for.
Yes. With your reaching out, are there any specific resources that you can think of that whether you've utilized them or maybe there's something that you offer to other people. Do you mind sharing what those resources are so I can
No,
just
some of the
include
things
them?
is, just having an open mind. Meditation has been a huge part of my healing journey.
Yeah,
Reiki energy healing has been a huge part of so have an open mind. I remember in the beginning, I felt like I had tried so many things.
yeah.
So be open to new practices and new ways that really could help you on your journey.
And so those are services that you offer as well, correct? To
It
people?
is,
Do
yes.
you mind sharing a little bit more of that side?
Sure, I'm actually, like, the only person in the world that combines Reiki energy healing with coaching. What that is we're gonna get into the office together, and you're gonna share what's going on in your life, what your traumas are, and I'm gonna pinpoint where in your body that you're struggling with the anxiety. Where do you feel the depression? Where do you feel the stress? And we're gonna with the coaching and the work that we're gonna do with that, I'm also gonna our bodies are all energy. We
Right.
work with energy, so I'm gonna be moving energies around in you so you can feel that you can breathe again, or
Yeah.
you're not walking away with any anxiety, where you feel that peace that you want. So I feel very blessed to be able to combine both of those things because I really want women to succeed. I really want women to thrive. Did you like 90% of the women that come in my office, I ask them, "What do you love about yourself?" And they
Mhm.
can't name one thing. Not one thing. I want that to change. I want that stigma to change. Whether it's I love that I show up every day or I have
Mhm.
a giving heart and it also goes back to we have to fill our own cups first. You
Yeah.
can't be the best mother, the best wife, the best spouse, whatever it is until you're filling your own cup. And once you're doing that, you will see everything around you just kind of change in a positive way.
So with you saying that the people that come to your office, do you only provide these services like in person or do you also do
I do
virtual
Zoom,
sessions?
so we are
Okay, you
military.
do.
So absolutely. I still have a ton of clients on the East Coast. We're now in Alaska.
Yeah.
Surprise! And, I do a lot on Zoom, and the Reiki energy healing can be done on Zoom as well as the coaching, and it's just my heart. I love doing in person, so I have new people here in Alaska,
Yeah.
but I think Zoom is such a beautiful way to be able to give back, especially when you are military and you're
Yes.
constantly moving. So that's the beauty of it. I get to make my own hours. I still get to do what I love doing. What I do in person, I do pregnancy and infant loss support groups as well as AA meetings, but I also do them as online as well. It
Virtual.
is all free. Everything is free. It's just I want to give back.
Yes.
Now that I've walked this walk, I want to be able to give back to others.
Thank you. And if someone was interested in some of these services, they could just come to your website, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
NicoleBGebhardt.com. Yep, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, but you can go straight to my website. I also have spirituallighthousehealing.com as well.
Thank you. I'll be sure to include those in the notes, everyone that is tuning in, so you can see all the resources and projects she provides and she does as well. And if you know someone that needs help or support, or you are potentially needing it, you be sure to check all of that out. Thank you again, Nicole, so much for joining me. I really appreciate your guidance, your insight, and sharing your journey and story with us today. And I look forward to having you in future podcasts as well as future projects.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you again for tuning in this week. I look forward to bringing you resources, support, and laughter. Sending my love from the desk of a Navy wife.